What's up, guys? I'm EJ, and this is Kendall here, and we're in Las Vegas for the NBA Summer League. Kendall, we want to talk here about a little bit of what we've seen from the action, not just in the day we were here, but also what we've seen earlier. What's impressed you about what you've seen so far?
Oh yeah, I mean there were plenty of performances that we saw live. I mean the first guy we saw play was Tyler Herro in Miami. They played the Orlando Magic, and he's a guy that's so great all summer league.
Yeah.
Even back in Sacramento when they were playing, they were one of the first teams to play. So I don't know the averages, but he's got to be averaging at least 20 points at this point. He had 25 in the game we saw. I compared him to Devin Booker earlier in the draft process, and that's who he reminds me of. He's eerily similar in terms of his ability to play and pick and roll, which we didn't know about. Similar to how Devin Booker, we didn't know at Kentucky. I don't know what Calipari.
And not just as a scorer, as a passer too. He had some nifty alley-oops.
Yeah, some pocket passes.
Silva, some the pocket passes to Silva that really they had a good chemistry.
It'll be interesting to see. He'll be in the rotation in Miami, assuming he doesn't get traded. But Can he be a starter from day one? We'll see.
Yeah, I thought Herro was fantastic. I mean, when you watch him up close, what's interesting about him is that he still hasn't filled into his man body yet. He's still kind of skinny. Still needs to probably tone out a little bit, and he's still going at these guys with the ferocity that he goes at them. What I love about his game is he never seems sped up. He always seems to be in control. He always seems to know exactly, okay, this is when I should shoot. This is when I should pass, and he just plays like a 3, 4, 5 year veteran. He doesn't play like a rookie, which was super impressive about how he played. I'll tell you what, another guy who I thought was impressive was Anfernee Simons from Portland. I mean, I don't know how much more we'll see from him after the ankle injury happened.
Oh no, they're gonna shut him down more than likely.
But I mean, when he played, I mean, the guy, you could tell this is someone who's been playing against Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum.
Him and Gary Trent.
Practice. And Gary Trent played great too.
You get a 30-point performance, played great in the game.
Yeah, and both of those guys, for guys who are younger players, they both again also play with a real sense of poise and a sense of calm. But Simons he's tough to stop, man. I mean, he's got a good handle. He has a good pull-up jump shot. He's athletic. I was super impressed with that backcourt over in Portland. I think those guys are going to get minutes this year. I think this was a redshirt year for both guys. And I loved Trent in the draft last year, one of our videos. But I thought both of those guys have been outstanding, but especially Simons. He had Oni from Mie Oni from Yale guarding him, and he couldn't stop him.
Yeah. I was a little disappointed in Oni, but it was just one game. I thought in the Denver-Boston game, obviously my guy Carsen Edwards has played excellent.
Yeah, he's been outstanding. Well, during the draft process, you were concerned about Carsen Edwards.
Yeah, if you're a subscriber,
our last video,
you'll be like, you're not a fan.
Yeah, so if you are like, what do you think the Celtic fan thinks about Carsen Edwards?
Yeah,
now?
if you listen to the podcast consistently, I shifted very early once we picked him. So, but he's looked great. I compared him to almost like a Kyler Murray, Russell Wilson type of basketball prospect, where his size is pretty much the only negative with him. But he's looked good. Taco Fall is obviously a very interesting player, and he will probably make the roster.
Man,
at some point.
Being in the stands and just seeing the reactions to Taco Fall, it was funny because we saw him at Media Day in the AAC.
Yeah.
And we're around media people who have been around him, so there wasn't this spectacle
fanfare.
really.
Yeah.
So being up close to the Taco Tuesday spectacle that was happening, it was remarkable. I mean, he's a guy that I think the Celtics will make sure is on the roster, not just for basketball reasons, because he's played okay, but for marketing for sure.
Yeah, and real quick, I thought Jared Vanderbilt from Denver, that kid, they have a third guy. We talk a lot about Bol, Michael Porter, who are guys with injury history but talent. Jared Vanderbilt's the same way, where he can't really stay healthy, but if he does, they have a real nice piece in Jared Vanderbilt.
Yeah. He tried to – it's funny, as the game went on, he tried to do a couple more things. He tried to do some step-back threes.
Yeah, his confidence was high.
But you see the ability. I mean, you got a guy naturally, he's about 6'9", 6'10".
6'9",
yeah. He's got a natural athleticism. He's got a pretty good handle.
Motor.
He's a confident player. He's definitely got a high motor. I was impressed with Vanderbilt. I was impressed with those New Orleans guards. I thought that Denver. I'm sorry. I'm thinking about the Pelicans. They got the same Pelican colors to me in my head. But they went at Edwards and Waters, and it ended up being a really good battle.
Yeah.
I love Tremont Waters still.
Yeah.
He's got one of the best handles I think in this draft. He runs a team well. I think he's a guy that's gonna be in the NBA, and I think that I don't know how much time he gets for the Celtics in year one, but he looks like a guy that's gonna stick. And I've seen those guys trying to press him and pick him up full court. He's a tough guy to stay in front of.
Yeah, I know you're a big, obviously you're a big RJ Barrett guy.
Yeah.
So that was probably a sigh of relief for you.
Yeah, I mean, look, we gotta keep it 100. I mean, RJ Barrett, I was happy the Knicks drafted him. I thought that he was definitely pick at 3. He's had a miserable summer league. The first 2 games were about as bad as they could possibly have been. So obviously there become a question mark of, is this a sign of what's to come, which is kind of crazy when you're talking about NBA Summer League.
Yeah.
But in the game against Toronto, while the whole team looked a mess, he was the most confident guy out there.
It looked about the final score of a Toronto Knicks game.
Yeah, pretty much. The Knicks have not won in Toronto, I think, in like 8 years. Like it's been something ridiculous. Maybe since Jeremy Lin hit that shot back in the day. But no, RJ, I thought I started to finally see how he works in the NBA. The first 2 games, if there was anything that was alarming, which was, okay, if his jump shot's not going, what is he gonna do to score? And it was becoming alarming that he wasn't able to get to the rim with the easiness that we saw in college. But I think what we saw in this game with the Knicks, with the Raptors, that was exciting was he started playing more point. He started orchestrating the pick and roll as the lead guard, and I think it allowed him to see the defense a little better. And one thing we saw, and it's been a conversation Knicks fans have had since they drafted him, was his ability to finally go right and use his right hand. He had really 2 nice finishes with his right hand. He's got to understand that in the NBA, they're just not going to let him get to that left hand as easily as he's gotten there in college. So his ability to use both hands, I think he's seen the floor a little better. And I honestly think we went crazy about those first 2 games, but I really do feel like there's a rust factor. He mentioned it, but I think it's true. If you've not played a game and you just get thrown out there against guys who are hungry,
some guys just don't do well. Some guys have no problem with it.
Yeah, some guys you just put them out there. Like Jamal Crawford's the kind of guy where I feel like he could not play for 3 years, and you put him on a game tomorrow, he can get 20. But some guys are just not. And I think RJ is the guy that needs real structure, real game plan, and a real rhythm. I don't think you just throw him out there in some league. He's going to look great. Yeah. So he struggled mightily the first 2 games, but I think that he was going up against a really good length and size in Toronto, and he handled it very well. 17 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists.
Yeah.
That's the kind of game you hope to see from him moving forward.
Yeah, my concerns with Barrett, pre-draft, haven't really escalated at all. They haven't gone anywhere. Still, worried about his skill level and his athleticism. But it was good. It was a good sign of improvement in that last game. So we'll have to see if he can consistently put together some of those types of performances. Hopefully he continues to play in Summer League. Toronto, though, Chris Boucher. They may have another Siakam. They may have another unicorn type of guy.
He's about Siakam's age.
Yeah, he's 26.
so I mean, but I tell you what, man.
But Siakam's a late find.
Yeah.
He was 27. He's 27.
Yeah.
And he's finally burst onto the scene, but now look at him. He's an all-star caliber player.
Yeah, I mean, Chris Boucher, we knew he could shoot, but
the ball handling ability did not have. He was a center at Oregon.
Yeah.
And now he's like a point, forward.
Yeah, there were times where he was bringing the ball to the floor, and we see a guy at 6'11", doing that.
G League MVP, Defensive Player of the Year. He was the best player on the court last night.
Without question. That's before they had Kevin Knox and Mitchell Robinson out there. And he was
RJ Barrett.
I thought the Knicks, the second year guys were so lousy.
Knicks Summer League team's been pathetic.
Yeah,
and it's no disrespect because they have talent on the roster. Those guys are gonna be good players, but that's what's been so disappointing. That they have all these guys.
Yeah, I think they look like guys that like I thought Mitchell and Kevin Knox had enough of Summer League in that game, and they're still able to be productive, which is still a good sign, even in a really bad performance. But I was not happy with what we saw from Knox, who was thoroughly outplayed by Boucher. And Mitch Robinson is still with these dumb fouls. We know he's an excellent shot blocker, rebounder, rim protector, but he's just got to be smarter. And I would hope, I know there's no foul limit, but I'm hoping the coaches would say, hey, try to work on not fouling everybody every 2 seconds. He had 5 fouls in the first half. Just ridiculous.
Ended with 7?
Yeah. He actually toned it down in the second half, but he didn't play the whole third quarter because the whole starting 5 got benched. So that was a little alarming. I tell you what, another guy who had another strong game, who's played well in the Summer League, Chris Clemens. This guy this guy who led the nation in scoring. He's kind of reminds me of Carsen Edwards. A guy who just comes in, he's just looking to score. He's a gunner. And he had 6 threes last night. He's kind of become the guard that I think Houston's looking at in terms of making the team. They brought in Shamari Pons, who had a lot of fanfare. But Clemens kind of stole the show. He's starting.
Yeah.
I think he's been great.
Yeah, also, your guy Captain played well in LA.
Yes.
Had another decent game last night, so another guy to look out for.
Guys who I'm looking forward to seeing. I didn't get to see Jackson Hayes yet. He made a hell of an impression.
You saw the way I was talking about Jackson Hayes.
Yeah.
That first game I watched, his first game was one of the most impressive debuts I've seen in the summer league for a rookie, especially for a guy that has very little skill level, but the athleticism is off the chart. So excited to see him play.
So yeah, and then also
Alexander Walker at 23.
Walker,
I had the second best point guard in the draft, so obviously I'm very excited about that.
Yeah. So we got plenty more summer league content coming for you guys. So be on the lookout here at New Generation Media. This is Kendall. I'm EJ. Take it easy, guys. We'll see you soon.